Hi, Dr. Here. I'm a rheumatologist who practices holistic medicine in Hawaii. Welcome back to my channel. Here's the big theme for my channel. Lifestyle factors such as Western diet, obesity, chronic stress, fuel chronic inflammation. My goal is to help you learn strategies for healthy body alignment, nutrition, and mind to heal from diseases. Genes are not everything. According to study on identical twins, if one child has lupus, the chance of the other twin having lupus was about 30%. Environmental factors such as lifestyle and chronic stress do matter in manifestation and severity of diseases. In the previous videos, we have discussed how chronic stress can contribute to chronic inflammation. Today, we're going to go a little deeper. Today's topic is childhood trauma and autoimmune diseases. Let's begin. First, I would like to give you a short intro on evolutionary psychology to provide some background. This intro is intended to illustrate why overcoming the thought of not being enough and lovable is very important in our own healing process. Throughout human evolution over 2 million years, our ancestors lived in tribes. Unlike other animals, human babies need constant care from other people to survive. If babies don't get the care, nutrition, and protection, they cannot survive. This is why kids feel significant fear and stress when they don't get the care they need. In tribal society, getting along with others was very important for survival. If someone got into trouble, one of the harshest punishments was exile from the tribe, and it was very challenging to survive alone in a new territory. Our human desire to be accepted, lovable, and likable is hardwired in our brain because of this survival need stemming from childhood and tribal lifestyle during our evolution. Back then, we needed other people to survive. In this modern society, the big difference is that once you're fully grown, for example, let's say you're a 30-year-old with stable job, you actually don't need other people to purely survive. You can arrange shelter and food with your income. There are no predators like tigers or snakes roaming in your neighborhood anymore. The big point here is that even if some people in your community don't like you, it doesn't affect your survival at all. You may feel stressed and feel like dying, but even if some people don't like you, you don't die. Our brain has evolved to help us survive, not to make us happy. Our brain has evolved to seek love and acceptance from others to help us survive back in the time when there were tigers and snakes in their environment. We need to understand this concept that there is this outdated survival program running deep inside of our brain operation system. In this modern society, if some people don't like you, you just need to go find other friends, more loving friends. Because of this outdated survival program, we crave love from other people. And when we don't get love from other people, we feel sad and anxious. This is why kids feel a tremendous amount of stress when they get bullied in school. But where does love come from fundamentally? According to Daoism, an ancient Chinese philosophy, everything in the universe is interconnected and part of a single harmonious wholeness, oneness. Love is already within us. We might be love itself. When we understand this and know that we are perfect creations of the universe, exactly the way we are, we get free from our outdated survival program and achieve inner peace. You are enough and lovable the way you are. We need to constantly monitor our thoughts to catch the outdated survival program and shut it off to maintain inner peace. Scarcity-oriented emotions like not being enough, not being lovable, not being likable cause fear and anxiety. When fear and anxiety last for a long period of time, they deplete our energy and eventually cause disease. Once we find ways to connect with abundance-oriented emotions like love and gratitude, and focus on them daily with consistent practice, this is how we achieve health and happiness. We covered some helpful mindfulness tools up to this point in the previous videos. We'll continue to learn more. I'm going to go a little further on evolutionary psychology and how autoimmune diseases are related to it. If we compare people with the same weight, women have less muscle mass than men. In terms of evolution, having less muscle meant a bigger challenge when it came to protection against dangers, and it may have contributed to more fear among females. When we are anxious and scared, stress hormone like cortisol and inflammatory signaling molecules like IL-6 get secreted. When this stress response lasts a long time, it causes chronic inflammation and disease. This may be a contributing factor to why stress-related conditions like fibromyalgia or lupus are way more common in female. Physiologically, female hormone estrogen upregulates stress hormone cortisol, whereas male hormone testosterone tends to decrease cortisol level. So there is a physiologic difference between genders. In the 1990s, there was a study done in San Diego where they studied adult patients who were hospitalized with autoimmune diseases. Adverse childhood experiences like physical and emotional abuse were significantly more common in female patients with autoimmune diseases compared to the normal population. Here's the list of adverse childhood experiences, ACE, that the study collected. Childhood physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, witnessing domestic violence, growing up with household substance abuse, mental illness, parental divorce, incarcerated household members. The risk of autoimmune related hospitalization went up by approximately 110% in female patients who had two or more types of adverse childhood experiences. This research supports the role of chronic stress in development of autoimmune disease. Unfortunately, ACE is pretty common in modern society, and they tend to cluster together. In one UK study, approximately 1 in 8 of the population experienced more than 4 ACEs during childhood. The most common autoimmune diseases target women 75% of the time. Most frequently, autoimmune diseases manifest during their reproductive years. It may take 10 to 20 years of constant stress starting from the childhood for autoimmune conditions to manifest in people. I believe a significant goal as a society is to teach all adults that we are enough and lovable so that we feel safe and achieve inner peace. Additionally, with our new understanding of children's emotional need that we were going to talk about during this talk, our goal should be to provide our kids tender, loving care and teach them that they are enough and lovable the way they are. I think this will help prevent many diseases in the world for our future generations. We will talk about another powerful concept called inner child concept now. Understanding this can be tremendously beneficial for patients with chronic inflammation. Not everyone had a good childhood. When children are neglected or have unmet needs, instead of questioning what the heck is wrong with my parents, they think like this: there must be something wrong with me. This creates two primary fears in us: I'm not enough, and I will never be loved. These two primary fears can cause a lot of issues in our entire adult life and health. This is not to say that because of what happened, we are stuck. We cannot change what already happened, but I believe everybody can heal, perhaps in different ways, no matter how big or small the trauma was. Let me give you an example from my own life. I didn't have the perfect childhood either. My mom had to support her entire extended family. She worked 12 hours a day, and she had to commute long distance on top of it. So I didn't really get to see her much. My first memory that I remember was when I was 5 years old, waking up alone. The door was locked. My grandma was supposed to pick me up, but I woke up earlier than usual. I recall pounding on the door in terror. I peed on myself. For the longest time, I thought my mother didn't love me. I carried this belief way too long, this belief created by my 5-year-old self. With my therapist and through healing seminars, I've revisited my first memory several times. Through the process, I came to realize that my mom did everything she could, knowing what she knew, having what she had. I realized that she made sure I was safe before she headed to work. And it helped me realize that she loved me. The inner child concept came from psychology world. All of us have unhealed wounds from childhood, no matter how small they may be. The first 6 years of life are especially important in human development because during this time, kids form nerve connections in their brain. They form their deepest beliefs about themselves, self-esteem, based on their interaction with mommy and daddy. Unhealed wounds from childhood persist in our subconscious mind in the form of our childhood self. Here's a simplified explanation of the inner child concept. Imagine housing two distinct identities within you, your inner child and your adult self. When challenges in life push on unhealed wound of your inner child, the inner child starts crying, leading to a whole body, whole self suffering. This emotional pain triggers a fight or flight response in your body. If it's triggered all the time chronically, chronic fight or flight will deteriorate our health. Understanding this process of inner child healing can be tremendously helpful. Most commonly, the healing process is conducted through a meditation. I'm going to provide a guided meditation in this YouTube channel. The meditation involves attuning ourselves to our inner child. In this practice, we become the nurturing parent to our inner child. For example, when my inner child is triggered, I tell my inner child, "Hey Peter, I'm now grown up. I understand that you're afraid. Whatever happened to you during the childhood, it wasn't your fault. You're not alone. Now I will protect you and love you forever." It will require some practice, but most people begin to establish connection with their inner child, a part of our subconscious mind, through guided meditations. When our inner child feels fear, we'll assure them as their nurturing parent, protector, source of unconditional love. Just like our biological kids, our inner child requires redirection and reassurance. Understanding the inner child concept not only will help you with own healing, but it will also help you understand your loved ones better. Because everyone has an inner child. After learning the inner child concept, I asked myself how my parents' childhoods were. They were born shortly after the Korean War and grew up having very little resource. Let me tell you a story of my dad. Throughout my life, I always complained that my dad eats too quickly. He finishes his meal within 2 minutes, literally. One day I asked my dad about his childhood. He was the youngest of 6, the weakest one. Nobody took care of him. They just didn't have enough food. So if he didn't eat quickly, he did not have anything. The pattern from that traumatic experience still stays with him. He's in his 60s now. So last summer, I took him up to buffet and told him, "All of these are yours." And then his mealtime turned into 20 minutes. I got to understand my dad a little better and have more love for him. Everyone has an inner child. We have all seen in a situation where we interact with an adult individual and the person acts like an angry 5-year-old. You may have thought to yourself, wow, this person is very mean and selfish. Do you know who hurts other people? Hurt people hurt people. The thing is that the person probably had an unhealed wound that was trigger them to be in that survival mode. In survival mode, your top priority is guaranteeing your survival. When you're stressed and feel fear, you cannot be kind and giving. Understanding this inner child concept not only help us heal, but also help us understand and have empathy for others going through the rough time. We all need to know that we are perfect and enough the way we are. I've seen many patients using this holistic approach. Among all those patients, only 4 of them said they had decent childhood, not perfect childhood. In fact, there's no such thing as a perfect childhood or perfect parents, as parents are humans too, with their own struggles. Those 4 patients who had decent childhood, they had traumatic events from adulthood like military-related PTSD or abuse relationship. Next week, I will introduce a guided meditation aimed at fostering a healing relationship with your inner child. This powerful tool was designed to reassure your inner child of their worthiness and your commitment to their protection and love, helping significantly in your journey toward your inner peace. This meditation was created as part of my core healing program, and I'm happy to provide it to you as a gift. Once your inner child knows that he or she is enough and lovable, many of your internal sufferings will subside, and you may be one step closer to inner peace that you desire. I hope you enjoyed this video. Look out for the inner child meditation video if you would like to explore this area further. My meditation video will be posted next week. Thank you.